the first day we got in, they were like, let's record the guitars on an iPhone. And I was like, what do you mean? And they just set up an iPhone and recorded all the acoustic guitars to this song, a song called What It Means. I don't think I put anything on socials about it, but it's a really, really great song, and it's so cool, and it just was recorded on an iPhone live in the room, and that's it. And they're the final songs that are final guitars that made it into the mix. We try to recut them. We had like Andrew go into the studio and do the whole thing, and we're like, there's something about the iPhone guitars that just crush. And I think that's just, it's so cool about music. It's just like, it doesn't really matter that it's wrong or bad or anything. It's just, it's so cool when it just works.
Hey, what's up, Elijah? How are you, man?
What's up? What's up? How are you, bro?
I'm doing awesome. Been a while. I had you on the show with Jamie like over 4 years ago now, I think. Uh,
Bro, blast from the past. That's great. That's it's been
yeah, yeah. It was
okay.
April 2020.
Oh
Um,
wow. Yeah,
so we
yeah,
were
yeah.
like all up in the pandemic. She was in her car, like nobody could leave. It was wild.
Chaos, bro. That was a different time. Yeah,
Right,
we were going through it then. Ever the world was like, yo, I can't do this right now.
right. Lifetime ago. But I appreciate you coming back on, man. I'm super excited to chat and find out what you've been up to the past
Yeah, hell yeah, bro.
4
No, I
years. I
appreciate you
know
having me on.
a lot's kind of changed as far as things, but yeah, man. Well, I'm Adam again, and this is about you and your journey in music. Um, so the first time we talked, you kind of told me your backstory a little bit, but I'd love to just kind of recap it a bit and then kind of get into what you got going on now.
Hell yeah.
Cool. So you originally from what, like an hour outside of Ottawa? Is that what I remember?
Yep, yep. Small town Ontario. I grew up in a town of like 6,000 people, and yeah, I live in Toronto currently, in the process of moving to Los Angeles in the next few months here. But yeah, I mean, perpetually kind of on the road and everywhere, but I try to get home as much as I can to see my family. They all still live around that area in the Ottawa area, so it's good, man. I mean, like I feel like growing up in a small town kind of taught me a lot about the world in a weird way. It's like you're pretty accountable for your actions, so I feel like I learned a lot
Sure.
at a young age. Everyone knows your business and everything, so yeah, I wouldn't change it for the world. It's pretty cool upbringing.
That's awesome. You're moving to LA. That's awesome, man.
I am, yeah. My wife and I, which is another crazy life update.
Yeah, congratulations. I did see that on your Instagram, I believe.
Dude, it's wild. Like, I find it weird calling her my wife now, and I like it a lot better than fiance, because fiance is like a spooky word to me. I don't know why. It's just like not, I don't like it. It's just like it's got weird, yeah, weird vibes. It feels like just like a weird elitist thing, and I'm like, I don't want to say this.
Right.
Um, but yeah, we got married about a month ago now. We've been married. Actually, you know what? A month to the day today. We got married July 6th. That's crazy. Today's
Wow, congratulations.
the
Happy 1
anniversary.
month anniversary, man.
Yeah. Um, and we were just kind of chatting, and we've been like contemplating it for a while, and we make trips out there all the time. And I was just like, why don't we just go live there for now, before we get too old to do it, you know?
That's awesome, dude. Is she from Canada as well?
She is. She grew up and about an hour and a half away from where I grew up, and I didn't know her until I was 23, 24. So
Wow.
it was kind of cool. We have like this full coming home moment, and just realized that like we were kind of kindred spirits. And she's lovely. She's my person. We were like really good friends to start, and then it was just like instant. And then she ended up moving in during COVID, and I was like, this is just the best, because we just got along so quickly. And yeah, it's good. It's good when
That's
you
great,
find
man.
somebody who's like on the same wave as you are.
100%, man. That's amazing. So I did remember you do come from a musical family, right? Dad was a songwriter or guitar
Yeah,
player or something.
he's kind of done a bit of everything. He grew up. My dad's Australian, so he grew up in bands and toured Australia and played a bunch of stuff over there. And they used to tour and play all the time. And then when I was growing up, he taught me how to play guitar, and he had like a little 8-track recorder he'd record songs on. And it's funny, I heard a bunch of the songs again, maybe a year ago or something like that, and they're great. Like they're awesome songs, and it's funny looking at them now with like in a songwriter lens, or whatever
Right.
I look at them through, and I'm like, oh, these are great. Like it's awesome. So there's a world where like I want to include him in the creative process on a project. And I don't know where what stage we're at with that, but he's a wicked player and a wicked dude. So I learned a lot from him growing up. But Yeah, my mom put me in like piano lessons, and I was like, I'm the cool sports guy. I don't want to play piano. And then I'm an idiot because I realized at 20 that I had to like learn how to play the piano, and it was impossible. So for any,
Oh, wow. Oh, so you stopped doing piano and you re-picked it up later down the line.
bro, is the scourge of my existence. Like I used to. I'm sure every kid can probably relate to this, or everyone can relate to this. Is like when your parents put you in like a musical lesson, you're like, I don't want to do this. This is uncool, and like I don't want to be this thing. And then you realize later,
Right.
it's actually the coolest thing in the world. Like everybody I know who stuck with it. Like I have this one friend. I mean, I call her a friend. I don't know if she would call us friends, but she's the coolest person I know. She just went on tour with Beyonce. Her name's Emily Bear. She's just like the most wild player ever. And I watch her videos as a kid, and she's just prolific. Like she's so good at playing the piano. It's because she stuck with it, and she's also a
Mhm.
prodigy. So like that's the thing. But I admire people who can play an instrument at that level, and I cannot. So I like plink through chords, and the same on the guitar. It's like I have enough to write songs, and that's like that's where I find my excitement and passion.
Yeah, I remember. I think you said last time you kind of just use those instruments as like a vehicle to write, right? It was like you only. It's not like you cared to be a shredder of
Yeah,
guitar. Or
I'm not
it was
ripping it.
like you. I want. Yeah, it was like okay, I want to learn how to play this because I want to use it to be able to create my own music.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and that's the thing is like I'll pick up an instrument, and I've been a lot of my stuff's been guitar based in the last like 2 years ish, and I really like that as like a medium to just find songs. Like I think there are songs in rooms, and I think there are songs in instruments, and every time you pick up a different instrument or a different setting or whatever, you come up with a different song, and I think that's what the medium is for me. It's like I don't necessarily care about being the best player or the best shredder. I have a lot of admiration for people who can do that, but for me, it's just like a vehicle to a song.
Mhm. And you kind of like got your, you know, like spark right with more the production side of things. Well.
I did, yeah, very much producer first. I think up until a couple of years ago, I was really focused on that and producing for a lot of other artists. Kind of started with like dance music and DJing when I was like 14, 15, and then I just kind of caught that wave, and I was like, I love Avicii and I love Afrojack, and then I had the opportunity to write for like a bunch of like ghostwrite for a bunch of kind of like those heroes in my life when I was 19 or 20, and I was like, Mom, I'm dropping
Wow.
school, and that was really cool because I was like making a little bit of money and producing for these artists that were just like my heroes, and then I kind of realized after I was like, this is so one dimensional, and it was just like there was nowhere really to go with it. Like I was paying my bills, but it wasn't like exciting me anymore. So I
Mhm.
uh, I decided to just kind of make a change and started writing songs for myself, and that's when I met Jamie, and we kind of went through that chapter of my life, and that was predominantly like production for other people, and then I started writing stories about like my own life, and then I realized nobody wanted to record those songs. So I was like, shit, I better learn how to sing. Like I gotta figure this out. And um
Oh, you started out trying to pitch them like to other
yeah,
artists? That was
they
the
were all
idea.
songs from
Okay.
Pitch, bro. Like I just like I wrote music. Like I've always really liked making music, but I never thought I'd be a performer. I never thought I'd be a singer or anything. And then we were kind of probably the last time that we talked, I was going through like a big sort of transformation. Kind of 2019, I would say, was like and the end of a lot of relationships for me, both personally and business wise. And I just decided I was like, if I'm not going to make this happen, nobody's going to make this happen. And it's not about waiting for
Mhm.
somebody else to cut my song. It's about taking my skills and taking everything I have and just being like, okay, well, I'm gonna put this out there and I hope somebody likes it. And I feel just like fortunate enough that people saw it and they were like, oh, I kind of vibe with this. This is cool. So I'm just perpetually doing that and just hoping that people keep liking it because it's the best thing ever. It's so wild that I get to just like spill my guts and tell my stories and people are like, oh, I resonate with this. That's fun.
Mhm. 'Cause you met Jamie, right? And wasn't she going to sing one of your isn't that how it started, right? You presented a song to her
Yeah,
and
like
then
an EDM song. So she
yeah.
recorded some, like top lines on some music that we or that I'd produced for other people, and then she ended up getting a couple cuts through that, and most of them were like pitch vocals and just like pitched up or down, so it didn't really sound like her, but it was cool. It was like a good start to it, and I was just like, bro, your voice is so good. We got to do something. And then we met our manager and went on a TV show, and that was kind of cool. And then it was just like a good start to I guess opening the pop world to me, and that was interesting. Like I learned all the hard lessons with record labels and
Oh,
managers
yeah.
just collaborators and the whole thing, and I went through all that stuff. So when I came out of that and decided to do this solo thing, it was like I had like a I had like a palette to work with. I had like a foundation to be like, okay, I'm not going to do that because I know how that turned out last time. I'm going to stay independent. I'm going to produce my music. I'm going to make it on myself. I'm going to like incorporate people that I really really like working with into that music, and just have like a lot more control and a lot more fun doing it. Like I think right now, with maybe the exception of the last like 4 or 5 months, it's like I've been relatively carefree about all this. It's like, and that's not for a it's not for a lack of care. It's more for a lack of concern about the outcome. It's like I just love doing this. Like I couldn't do anything else. I can't have another job. I can't work at a Starbucks. I couldn't sell cars. I couldn't do any of that. It's like I love making music, and the fact that I get to wake up every day and just be like, let's figure this out and make some music, and I hope people like it. Then it's amazing. I think there's like pressure that comes with having success at it though, because then you're like expected to keep doing that, and that's a different beast. So that's kind of been where my head's at like lately, but I try to like push it all away.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about that, and I don't mean to bring it back in, but, like, with what you just said, you were on you were signed to Big Machine and, like, you doing the whole thing with Jamie, and you won the TV show, right? From what I remember, or got
I
pretty
guess so. It's
close?
like the weirdest Canadian TV show, and I have nothing bad to say about it. Like they were lovely people, and even that Big Machine, they're so lovely and supportive, and like it was the perfect chapter for us, like or for me, anyways.
Mhm.
I really enjoyed my time and learned a lot. So it was a good starting place. I think it's like I think it was like a good jumping off point, but it wasn't really where I wanted to be. And I think Jamie felt the same in terms of like we wanted to do something sort of different. So I kind of just took it all in stride. But yeah, the TV show was funny because it's like the most Canadian thing ever, where there's like a winner every episode, and then like the real winner was like, I guess we were the real winner because we had like the most success out of the TV show, which is kind of cool. But just like the most like everybody wins thing, and it was just like
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
it,
yeah.
we canceled the TV show shortly after, so like I understand why, but it was great for us.
Right, well, that's what I'm saying, so that you had that moment, and you had this thing going with her, and you had the big major label, and I know you have your own label now, which is incredible,
Hmm.
but, like, going once that, you guys part ways, and just going to, like, uncertainty maybe, or, like, concern with what people think with your music. You said you have to put the songs out, and at when you achieve a certain level, like, you kind of have this expectation, or you want people to receive it a certain way. Were you concerned with that when you decided to put songs out yourself?
I wasn't concerned at all, and I think that's like my own. I think I lack that thing where it's like when I get into something, I don't really worry about what anybody else thinks about it until I'm really really good at it, and then I'm like, and not that I'm good at writing songs, like I don't know what the hell I'm doing still, but like
Eh,
if like
I'd say you're pretty good.
let's use another example. So like I recently got into cameras, and I'm looking. I got like 17 cameras beside me now because like I really
Hell
like
yeah.
that thing. But as I'm learning about it, I don't care what anybody thinks. Like I'm just like I'm doing it for me, and like I love the raw love and inspiration about being like, oh, that's what this lens does, and that's what this thing looks like, and that's how to take this picture, that's how to recreate this scene, that's how to get this look, whatever. So when I first got into cameras, I was just like, I don't care. I'm just gonna make this stuff with the cameras. And now everything I make goes through this like it has to be perfect lens, and it's so annoying because I'm like,
Mm.
there's something really great about just like not knowing what you're doing and just like trying to figure it out. But I perpetually get into this cycle where I get really dialed in on something, and I think this is like it's a blessing and a curse kind of double-edged sword vibe. It's like I get really obsessive with things. So if it's like playing the guitar for a while, it's like I'll learn every guitar chord and then kind of get really good at those chords. And then all of a sudden I'm like stressing more about the chord structure than I am about the song. Or if it's like a lyrical battle that I'm fighting, it's like as soon as I get through that thing, it's like it ends up further from the actual like raw truth of what it was and more into this like overcooked version. So it's this like balance of being creative and raw and free, and also understanding that like with education and with like learning things and with more practice comes often like an easier sense, or like you have to make it easier on yourself to like actually just let go of the whole thing, because I think the best things come when you're just like it doesn't matter, it's all good, or at least for me.
Right. No, that makes a lot of sense because then you can overthink everything, right? You're like, well, I know that if you have all this knowledge and you're like, well, it should look this way. And like,
Yeah.
but that's all, personal preference and in the long run, or that's
Yeah.
what's wild about like TikTok is like in the beginning, it was like everyone thought you had to make this super like polished, beautifully edited video. But I feel like when those videos come out, they never do as well as just somebody going, blah, 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 blah,
Yeah, this is relatable,
blah.
and
With like
I
no
like
effort,
this.
right?
Yeah. Yeah, totally. No, and it's cool. It's like an interesting reflection of like people always ask me like, what do you think of socials and what do you think of like what's your outlook on like you and social media and that whole thing? And like I think it's just it's no different than humans trying to connect to humans. So if that's through a really beautifully shot like high quality video, then amazing. Like if that translates to people, then amazing. But oftentimes it's like we were having this discussion about Beyonce last night, and maybe this is a little bit of a tangent, but I like this discussion. So
I love tangents.
I'm not a huge Beyonce guy. I appreciate what she does. I love Destiny's Child. I love the songs and a lot of that, but there are like people who die for Beyonce. And I think my struggle with it is she doesn't do anything to me that's human relatable because she's such a superstar. She's like Mick Jagger or whatever. And it's like when Mick Jagger snaps his fingers, he can have a Diet Coke in his hand and somebody will go get it. You know what I mean? Like that's not a human experience anymore for me. So that's my struggle with just creatives or not creatives creation when there's no access to that person or access to that idea, then it becomes really strange. And you're just like, I don't know how to relate to this. So to your point, it's like the TikTok videos that some like janky iPhone guy, like my favorites are the 60-year-olds who have an iPhone and they pull it out and they say something like really stupid. And it's got like 8 million likes. It's like
Right.
no one can relate to that. It's like they know that guy who would do that thing. And I think that's what's so beautiful about social media. It just like it illuminates the human aspect of a lot of really good things and sometimes some not so great things. But
Yeah, I mean, to your point, even go back to your cameras, like, no, most people don't know, a majority of people don't know anything about the camera, right? And then you get so into it and you're like, okay, this lens needs to do this and this and this. And then just because you have this knowledge, like the masses that are gonna see a photo of whatever have no concept of anything. They're just like, oh, it's a cool picture of a
yeah,
monkey or
and
whatever it is.
they don't care, and like most of the times is like the best stuff comes from things that people can recreate themselves or people can insert themselves to. So if you have like a super high quality really polished thing, it's like okay, I can look at it as a piece of art, but I can't insert myself into it. It's like I think the best things are oftentimes the things that people can see themselves reflected into. It's like, and I think that about songwriting a lot too. It's sometimes the most complex idea isn't the best one; it's the simple one, and I think that's like why country music is making such a huge comeback right now. And this has just turned into me giving fucking opinions, and I don't know, I don't know what's going
I
on.
love that. No, that's what I want.
But like,
I want to know your opinion.
I love like I've been listening to like Meg Maroney or Megan Maroney if you know who that is, and she's great, but the
Yeah.
songwriting is just so like clever and simple and what's the word for that? It's like really clever
It's
ways to say obvious things, and I think that's really cool because then you can insert yourself and be like, "Oh, I know that saying," and it's really interesting how you turn that phrase. It's like slightly elevated from the really basic human thing, and I think that's what's so cool about country music and really great
well,
pop
that's Taylor
songs.
Swift's popularity, I think, has a lot to do with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Her
especially
songs
the
are pretty,
early stuff.
yeah, it's very early and very like she wasn't too much trying to get too deep into like too metaphorical, or it was just like, I'm just gonna say it how it is, and maybe I can come up with a little more clever way of saying some
Totally.
basic statement in a
Yeah,
way.
and she's a genius
Um,
on all levels. So like, yeah, I can't take any credit away from Taylor. She's the best.
Oh yeah, I love her to death. But yeah,
She's a
but it's
robot.
the same thing. Like you're saying, it's
She's
just
a
a
robot,
pot.
but she's the best.
100%,
Yeah.
100%.
I don't know how you do that though.
Um,
I don't know how you do that on that scale
uh,
perpetually for 15 years. It's unbelievable.
well, you were saying like kind of when going back to that, like the not overthinking it, but just like when now you became obsessed with cameras or whatever. With songwriting, do you feel like when you put out like "Look What I Made" or like when you started putting out your songs under just Elijah Woods, you had that non like you like the carefree of just I'm just gonna release these because I like them. Do you think that shit like you? you talked about kind of having that change a little bit. Was that after those songs, you know, do super well and then like going into this album, or like, or did you, are you, have you not had that at all with your songwriting?
I mean, it's like it's perpetually up and down with songwriting. Some days you wake up and you're like, "Oh, this is free flowing and incredible and amazing." I think as an artist, I think just maybe the stage of like life I'm at, and reflecting on sort of where I was when I wrote those songs, it it was, can I do this? And now that I'm able to say yes, I can, it's why am I doing this and what am I doing this for and what do I want to say? And I think that's a bigger question to ask. So like this next project, and however it rolls out, we've been sort of discussing like um, if it's going to be 6 songs and 6 songs, just because like I'm so eager to feed everybody who's been supporting me. Like I don't want to wait for like a to put out 16 songs or something like that. It's like I'd rather give it to you all like in sequence and do that whole thing. So however this next project comes out, I I think I was really meticulous on sort of like what I wanted to say and how I wanted to say it, as a project, rather than being like, okay, I made all these songs and let's just compile them together in a project. I think up until maybe my last project, or the project before my last one, Bright Orange Everglow, it had
Mhm.
just been kind of collections of songs, and as much as I thought there was sort of like a through line with them, it was just like, no, these are the best songs I have, and let's put them together and then make a story based on that. And I think with Bright Orange Everglow is my first time sort of hitting something on the nose, where I was like, here's what I want to say, and here's my message, and um, here's the world that I want it to live in, and here's the complete vision. And I think that just keeps getting more magnified and more sort of dialed in, as you progress. And I think that's like a universal thing. I don't think that that's unique with me, but um, I just like I look at my sort of inspirations right now, and I love. I don't know if you have a chance to listen to the new Role Model album, Kansas Anymore, but
No, I'll check it out.
incredible.
I know Role Model, but I don't.
So good. And like I've been a fan of his for a while. He was kind of like one of the first artists that I was like, oh, like I could do this. Like I could do this thing. Like I respect what you're doing, and you're so talented in the whole thing. But he's like, and no slight to him, he's a wicked songwriter and the whole thing. He's like not the best singer, and he's like just like a good looking dude, and like makes really catchy quality music. And that's what I always sort of like thought of myself as, is like not the best singer and not the best writer and not the best whatever, but like I can create something that is uniquely me. And I think that's what he really really did with this new project. And like obviously if you haven't listened to it, go check it out, it's awesome. And this is just
Yeah.
turning into me promoting it. But what I really like that he did is he created a world. He created a world, and he created like a an era, if you will, like Taylor Swifty. But he created like a moment that really feels like something, and that really sort of signifies a chapter in his life. And that's what I want. That's what I've been wanting to do with this project. And with that comes all the stresses of being like, okay, is this perfect, and is this exactly what I want to say, and is this going to react, is this too different from the rest of my music, is this too um is it too like, am I too close to it, you know what I mean? So then you start like hyper analyzing everything and going the whole, I don't know. I just want it to be perfect, and nothing ever is. And at some point, you just got to be like, I got to just put this out. I just got to I got to get rid of this stuff so I can move on to the next chapter. So I'm very excited for this music, because I think it's like every time I listen to it, it's the best stuff I've created. And I think the word I keep, or the way I keep describing it is, this is like, it was the start of my quest for sort of musical maturity, and I don't think I've achieved that yet. I don't think I've hit that thing, and I don't know that I ever will. But it was, it is, and was really intentional in the way that I wanted this to sound um, a little bit more complete and a little bit more thought out than maybe the rest of my projects. And that's maybe just a reflection of like me turning 30 and just being like, hey, here's what I want to say, and I hope you can see it as that, or see it as something that would be as impactful as that for your own life.
Mhm. So going into these new songs, well, I'm just, I want to ask a question on something you touched on earlier with just, you know, I don't know how you want to do the release cycle. Right? Do you want to do the 6 songs and 6 songs or whatever? I mean, you own the label, right? It's your record label that you're putting
Yeah.
everything out on. What How cool is that, having the freedom to kind of just do that as without having an A&R or somebody that's gonna tell you like, "No, man, you gotta do this single, and then we're gonna do this, and we're gonna roll it out this way." Is that like a blessing and a curse, or is it just a blessing? Like, tell me about that.
I mean, it is a blessing, and as much as I like beat myself up about it, because it just once again, it's like it is a double-edged sword where you can just be like, oh, this is the song, and this is gonna work, and this is gonna be great, and then you think of all these great ideas, and then it doesn't react, and you're like, okay, well, we can pivot, so why wouldn't we do that? Um, it has the ups and downs, but ultimately, it's such a blessing. Like I couldn't do this another way, and we talk about all the time. It's like I'm really fortunate. Like I know a bunch of the people at these record labels, and I see what they're doing with artists that are sort of like in my place, and seeing how they're sort of going. But ultimately, like if I'm the record label, I get to decide what music videos we make, what producers we bring on, what songwriters I bring on, and I'm really lucky that I have a really great management team that helps me out with like a lot of this. But it's amazing owning both sides of it. It's like I own the publishing and the master side of my music, and
Wow.
it's more rare than I thought it was, which is
Mhm.
really cool. But I don't take for granted. It's the piece of this that I really hold on to, and I wouldn't give it up for nearly anything. Like I don't say there's no world where I sign to a record label, but I watch just the state of the industry and just like the state of a lot of these record deals, and it's insane. Like I know people who are selling out arenas and they're not making any money because they have sold their rights away because they had to pay their bills for 2 to 3 years while they were building it. And I watch them and I feel so empathetic towards them, being like, that's a wild place to be in. It's like you were one of the most popular artists of 2024, and it's like you're still not recouped, which is insane. Some of these artists have billions of streams, and like they're not getting paid because the label just keeps dumping more and more money into things that maybe aren't moving the needle, and they're not things that the artist decides necessarily. They're just things that perpetually keep them in a state of needing in advance to pay their bills, which is so strange. So I think coming out of that Big Machine deal, and they were lovely to me. Like they never caused any problems. It was not. There's no bad blood between me and them or Universal or anything. It was just like I looked at it and I was like, based on the skills that I have, being a producer and a mixer and a songwriter and everything, I don't need somebody to invest $20,000 into a song. It's like I can just do it, and then when it
Right.
makes any sort of money, it's like I'll I'll do the thing. And like making music used to be expensive and now it's not. You can make music for like literally on your iPhone, and some people do. Like I don't know if you know David, like D4 VD. It's like his big song was literally recorded on it's got like a billion streams. It was literally recorded on like iPhone headphones. And it's like that's nuts.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts, and it doesn't cost anything. It's like I think he made that song for like $8 because he probably bought BandLab or something. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
it's crazy. It costs as much as it costs to upload onto the internet, which I think is $12 Canadian.
Wow.
It's
Yeah,
crazy.
I mean, I've even throughout the pandemic and stuff, I had artists on, you included, but like with we talk to them even after the fact, like in a couple of years later, and we'd be talking. They're like, "Yeah, like I recorded this song on a USB mic from Radio Shack or whatever. I spent $50 on this thing and recorded it in my closet, and then when I went to the $100,000 studio." I couldn't even recreate like, they kept the vocal from that crappy mic because it was like I couldn't recreate the same, like, motion behind
Yep.
the vocal, but the other one sounds great, and it doesn't matter that it wasn't done on some Neumann blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah, you know what I mean? Like,
You can have all the gear, bro. You can have
it's
all the
there
gear,
and
but it
people
doesn't matter.
resonated.
It's just the vibe. I'll give you
Right.
a great example of that. It's like on this new project, there's two songs that really stood out to me that had moments like that. So there's one that I've been putting on socials a little bit. It's called January Eyes, and I wrote it with Jack LaFrance and Jason Suido, who did like Benson Boone, and they're wicked guys, really great
Wow.
collaborators. And we the first day that we did a pile of sessions last September, and the first day that we pulled up just like an SM7B, which is like a handheld microphone, and
Oh,
we were
I
gonna
have
pick
one down here. Yeah,
yeah,
I know
yeah,
what you're talking
literally
about.
the mic that you're using, and I just throw one in my bag just in case we want to record stuff. And we had that playing in the room, and Jason played like this chord things, and then I just started singing something over it, and it was a demo vocal, like not even like live in the room. There's like feedback from the speakers and everything, and that is the final lead vocal in the song, and it just sounded so cool that we were like, we can't recreate this, so why would we even try? And I think that's what's so cool. It's like it doesn't really matter that it's wrong. It just sounded good, and that's like the cool part. And then I worked with, this isn't me trying to name drop. It's more just like I can't believe these people want to work with me, which is so cool.
Yeah, no,
I work with
do
some of
it.
my
Drop
idols.
away.
Yeah, I work with some of my idols on a few of the songs on this project. So I work with TMS, who did "Someone You Love" by Louis Capaldi, and they did like I think they have Ariana Grande cuts and Ed Sheeran cuts, and like they're heavy hitters, and I'm like, this is insane that you guys wanted to take a session with me. And since then we've become super close, and they're lovely, lovely people. But I work with like them and Andrew Goldstein, who's done Blink 182 and Sum 41 and like all the stuff that I grew up on. And the first day we got in, they were like, let's record the guitars on an iPhone. And I was like, what do you mean? And they just set up an iPhone and recorded all the acoustic guitars to this song, a song called What It Means. I don't think I put anything on socials about it, but it's a really, really great song, and it's so cool, and it just was recorded on an iPhone live in the room, and that's it. And they're the final songs that are final guitars that made it into the mix. We try to recut them. We had like Andrew go into the studio and do the whole thing, and we're like, there's something about the iPhone guitars that just crush. And I think that's just, it's so cool about music. It's just like it doesn't really matter that it's wrong or bad or anything. It's so cool when it just works.
Wow, that's crazy. I wonder why you guys decided to, or why he even mentioned maybe like let's just use the iPhone to record it. Like I wonder if I don't know.
I think
It's
sonically, I mean, sonically, we were living in this kind of like we were writing this song, and I mean, you'll hear it when it comes out here, but it's really cool. It's almost Beatles esque, and it's a little bit 70s inspired in the way that like the sound choice is very ethereal but intentional, and very a little wavy, and it's kind of cool because the iPhone just gave it like some sort of like natural phone filter type thing, and it really compressed the hell out of it, and it just sounded really cool. So we were like, this is kind of the thing. We just keep this in there.
I love it. I love it. What so the song, I mean, have you released any of the songs that are going to be on the project? I mean, it's 2010 on the album.
2010 is on the album, and it was kind of it was one of the first songs. I did that with TMS and Andrew Goldstein and Jack LaFrance and Meg LaFrance. And once again, the only reason I'm shouting these people out is because I have so much respect for them, and they're just like, it's not to name drop anybody. It's just like
Right.
I think it's incredible when you get to work with people. Like I've spent my whole life idolizing most of the things that these people have made, and the fact that they're writing songs with me now is just so insane. Like it's so cool. Um, and it was one of the first songs we did together, and it was kind of the start of this chapter, and I'm calling this chapter rom-com rock, and I think it's a rom-com pop rock, I guess, because it's really it's really upbeat and like light and fun, but still has like the substance of a lot of those early 2000s rom-com songs, where you listen to them and you're like, oh yeah, it's this theme song for like all these movies, and you listen to the song like Fade Into You by Mazzy Star, and you're like, it's one of the greatest songs ever written. Like that's so cool.
Right.
I'm not comparing this to Fade Into You by Mazzy Star, but that was our North Star, and 2010 was definitely a really, really fun one that we made, and it was just like super light, and it didn't mean a lot, but it's like it's kind of impactful when you actually like listen to the lyrics. And yeah, it was definitely like a sonic North Star for the project.
Love it, man. So you don't have like you have the songs are done, yeah, but you just kind of don't know how you're going to roll it out yet as far as like because you have it says you're going to release an album, pre-save your album. So I don't know if you're going to put it out as an album or as 6 songs and then 6 songs and then now we have an album, or you don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I've been on the album thing for a minute. I've been like, I think I'm ready to do this, and I'm ready to say this, and the songs dictate that it is an album. I think it's maybe just a reflection of 2024, and like how I can get the most people to listen to this. And like that, obviously I'm every head in this. I'm the marketing head and the musician and the singer and the performer and everything. So it's a little bit daunting when you look at it and you're like, okay, well, here are 16 songs that I like, and it might be 14, it might be 16. They're all mastered. It is 16. But It's how do I get people to listen to 16 songs? Like that's a lot of music, and like how I care about each one of them, maybe a few of them more so than others, but like it doesn't really matter what I think. It's like I have to present them in a way that people actually can consume them and will listen to them. So it's more of a question on how do you get people's attention to listen to a project like that, regardless of what I want to say. And I think in the long term, it will consolidate into being an album, but I don't know if that's 6 songs tomorrow and then another 6 in a few weeks and then they consolidate to be an album. But it is definitely a cohesive body of work, and it's something that I put a lot of love and effort into. So I want to just include as many people into that process as I can, and I'm just figuring out the best way to do that in a not in a reinvent the wheel way, but in a way that's maybe more current than being like, I'm gonna do an album and then I'm gonna tour it and then I'm gonna hope you like it. Because if nobody likes it, then it's like I can't like waste that opportunity because I love these songs, so I want to give them the best possible life.
Love it, man. That makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. But I appreciate you coming back on and doing this, Elijah. Thank you so much, man.
Dude, I appreciate that. Thank you for the time. Sorry, half the questions I was like, let's rant about this, but
No, that's the point. I don't. I hate the question and answer conversations. I love the rants and the and your feedback and everything. So, man, I appreciate you. I have one more question. I asked you this last time, but in 4 years, I'm sure maybe this has changed. If you have any advice for aspiring artists.
I don't know. I think it's probably the same sentiment as it's always been. It's always you just got to trust yourself and trust your gut. Everyone will tell you what you should and shouldn't do, but there's something to be said for like waking up in the morning and being like, I did that because I wanted to and it worked, or it didn't because then you're just accountable for it. So I think just like stick to your guns and make sure you're doing something that you can like wake up every day and be like, this is the thing I want to do and nobody told me to do it. I'm just doing what I want. And I think that's like, for me, that's the ultimate freedom. So I hope that somebody else could have that same level of freedom. So that'd probably be my advice. Stick to your guns, trust your gut, make sure you're waking up every day with something that you feel really confident about. Bringing it back